Hanbit heads to Rickner's shed for an archery test that's basically a suicide mission for any beginner. Even Yanwu is feeling the pressure. The rules, simple but absolutely brutal. Score 200 points in 30 shots using nothing but junk gear. Hanbit fires his first arrow, and it's a total miss. Looks like he just showed up to fail. But then, everything shifts in an instant. Suddenly, arrow after arrow begins finding its mark. Before anyone can even process it, Hanbit is nailing bullseyes like a seasoned pro. A hopeless challenge turns into yet another moment where Hanbit proves he's way more dangerous than he looks. Well, here's the thing, you and I are looking at a survivor of a literal war against monsters. After winning that grueling final battle, he finally lets go and passes away. But then he regressed, got possessed, and was reincarnated 55 times in total. All this was the work of a goddess who summoned him and kept sending him back regardless of how gruesome his deaths were. This time around, she actually praises him for surviving longer than usual. Hearing that, Hanbit is absolutely livid. This insufferable goddess just casually asks if he wants to be reincarnated again, since it's been a while. Hanbit snaps, gritting his teeth as he reminds her that she's the root of all his misery. He tries to remember when he first arrived in this dimension, but it's been way too long. Back then, the goddess told him to find Air Force. He died many, many times, only for her to respawn him over and over, just to face the exact same fate. Despite all his desperate efforts, in the end, he couldn't find a single clue about what it actually was. Beyond frustrated, Hanbit screams that he's done and she should just find that Ford thing herself. Now, here's where you and I see the goddess's true colors. She says it's impossible for her. He fires back, telling her he'll go insane before the world actually ends. But she doesn't get it. She's always made sure his body and mind are reset and functioning. At this point, Hanbit realizes reasoning with her is pointless, even if she's technically right about fixing him up. The agonizing memories of every single death still resurface, vividly gnawing away at his soul. All that accumulated trauma has pushed him way past his absolute breaking point. As usual, she asks if they should start prepping for the next cycle and which path he'll choose, but he yells that he's done. That's when she reveals she was just kidding, then praises him for doing his best in his assigned role. Then she informs him that he's finally earned the right to return home. Go back to his original world. He's shocked he failed to save the world every single time. That's when she reveals that the process was far more important than the result, so he shouldn't even worry about it. Without wasting a second, she casts the spell to send him back to his original world. But Hanbit isn't ready yet. He tries to get her to answer the mountain of questions he has. But as always, the goddess doesn't listen. She just says all his experience will manifest as an overwhelming power. Hanbit, completely fed up with her nonsense, gives her one last shout. You and I can only guess what's next as she sends him back with high expectations. And just like that, he is sent back. It has been 18 months since his return to Korea. Hanbit wakes up one morning and notices how his original life is slowly starting to feel real again. He sees his mom has already left for work. Hanbit stares at his military uniform, which he received after completing his enrollment in the Korean Army. He is incredibly pissed because he has done this exact same thing in other dimensions over and over and over again. Even though this was his sixth duty, Hanbit grumbles about how hard it is to adjust to modern life and puts the blame on that goddess. Now that he finally landed an internship, he wonders just how long he will last. He decides to head back to school to file for a work-related leave of absence and keep things moving. Still, his future feels shaky and uncertain. As he dwells on his problems, he gets a text from Yanwu asking him to go drinking. Hanbit rejects the idea immediately. Naturally, his friend mocks him, calling him a total coward for bailing. Hanbit lets it slide since Yanwu helped him during his service right after he returned to Korea. He looks at the message again and realizes Yanwu was joking and wants to give him a gift. Hanbit gets serious and asks for the details before finally agreeing to meet up with him. They meet at a cafe where Yan Wu is waiting. He was Hanbit's senior in the military. Though 5 years younger, he sizes him up. Hanbit curiously asks about the gift, but Yan Wu tells him to slow down. The punk is already preparing to leave. Finally, Yan Wu cuts to the chase and pulls out a mysterious card. He explains it is for a game called Record Project. It is a membership card for all the gear needed to play at home. He slides it across the table. He calls it a gift and tells Hanbit to take it. It costs about $500. But Hanbit turns it down. He just started a new job and will be way too busy for gaming. He mentions his family's situation and how he might even need to pick up a second job soon. Once Yan Wu realizes that Hanbit only cares about making money right now, he starts teasing him, saying the guy has absolutely no romance or passion in his soul. This really ticks Hanbit off. He grabs Yan Wu by the hair, asking if romance and video games are going to put food on his table. That is when Yan Wu reveals that Hanbit can actually earn 75 grand from playing the Record Project. Immediately, Hanbit hears this. He takes his seat and listens with absolute, total focus. Yan Wu tells him about Team Zero, the massive company that created the Record Project. And get this, the will of the company's founder, a man named Michael Welton. It states that all rights to the company will be handed to the first person who clears the game. Yan Wu explains how the game is blowing up and how the value of the in-game currency is skyrocketing. He shows him the trends. People are selling walkthroughs and making insane profits. Even major corporations are pouring money in to form their own professional strategic teams within the game. Hanbit weighs his options, and knowing Michael Welton's reputation, he decides to take the deal. Surprised and thrilled, Yan Wu asks if they should just head straight to the event zone right now. A bit later, they arrive at the venue. Hanbit sees the massive crowd and starts complaining immediately. But Yan Wu tells him things are not nearly as bad here as in Europe or the States. Yan Wu grabs him by the collar and drags him out to find the guide for new players. There, he explains to Hanbit that this game is definitely not newbie-friendly. Apparently, a veteran adventurer wrote a special guide for newbies. It is the only reason he hasn't quit yet. After listening to the whole story, Hanbit flips through the guide and gets annoyed by what he sees. Yan Wu wonders if he is okay. Suddenly, the goddess whispers to Hanbit, her voice chilling. She reminds him that she expects nothing but greatness from his journey. Hanbit questions why the quest to find air Fring means she is constantly watching over him. He is confused, but then he spots the air forest mentioned in the book. That is when it hits him. She never planned on letting him go from the start. Hanbit snaps, crushing the book in a fit of pure rage. Yan Wu looks on, worried, asking why he is being so serious right now. Hanbit brushes him off, asking about Team Zero. Yan Wu mentions Michael Welton's youngest daughter, the current face and representative of the massive corporation. But that is all he knows. The rest of the members, completely top secret. Hanbit smells something fishy. This definitely has a connection with the goddess. He cannot help but wonder, why did it have to be in a game? The world he was sent to was real. The trauma of killing and dying felt all too vivid. Now he wonders if it is really right to step back into that nightmare. But maybe, just maybe, this is the only way to finally end the pain. He asks how long for the gear to arrive. Yan Wu says about 2 hours. He snatches Hanbit's phone and starts setting up the entire procedure. He also insists they pay for the ruined, crumpled guidebook. Transaction complete. They head out and Yan Wu bids Hanbit a final farewell. Fast forward a few hours, the package arrives, one incredibly expensive console. He checks the gear and locks his door. Mom won't be home for a while. He puts on the console and dives headfirst into the virtual world. The scan finishes. He is shocked. The avatar feels way more like a real body than expected. He tries to customize his look, but the settings window is nowhere to be found. He calls the game a piece of junk and tries to reboot the entire system. Surprise, surprise, it fails. The system says his character already exists. As the screen glitches, Hanbit curses the goddess. He knows this is her doing. By the time he spawns into the port city of Edund, he realizes it's been ages. He catches his reflection in a mirror and freezes. He looks exactly like his last regression. Is this a message, a silent command from the goddess to start over? Suddenly, a friend request pops up from someone named Loafer. He clicks the profile. It's Yan Wu's avatar. The flashy, luxurious outfit gives him away instantly. Yan Wu asks why he chose to look exactly like his real-life self. Embarrassed, Hanbit just mutters that it only turned out like that. But wait. Yan Wu asks about his nickname. Hanbit has no idea what he is talking about. With Yan Wu's help, he sees it. Black Dragon. Livid, he grabs him and demands a change. Yan Wu just laughs. Changing that cringy name? Totally impossible. Hanbit is livid. Time to take his frustration out on his friend. But Yan Wu tells him to check his notifications. When Hanbit finally does, a pop-up appears, asking if he wants his gameplay broadcast on Yan Wu's massive stream. Yan Wu explains the deal and suggests they split the profits 50-50 for the stream, hearing that he could walk away with 60% if they perform well. Hanbit accepts the deal, and Yan Wu immediately starts the live broadcast. Right away, he introduces Hanbit to his massive audience, announcing he will be joining him and promises the viewers some very interesting content. The fans immediately start roasting Hanbit for his poor username, and he gets offended. But Yan Wu settles him down, reminding him they have a major goal. While they pick on Hanbit, Yan Wu shows him how to check the skill recommendations, which scan the player's body and recommend 3 specific skills that fit them best. The choices range from powerful magic to elite swordsmanship. And Hanbit wonders if the secret techniques from his 55 pass cycles are actually implemented in the system as skills. With that thought, he clicks his profile, eager to see his abilities. Suddenly, a blinding light erupts, leaving Yan Wu completely stunned and speechless. Along with the viewers, the chat immediately drops negative comments about Hanbit's skill choice, with some even reporting his account. Shocked, Yan Wu asks how he got them, but Hanbit honestly says he has no clue. Truth is, he is still trying to wrap his head around how this whole system works. From the long list of categories, Hanbit selects magic. And this absolutely triggers the viewers who think he is just playing the game for laughs. Confused by the rage, he asks Yan Wu if magic is actually that bad. But Yan Wu tells him that the most important factor in this game is proficiency. Compared to other skills, it is incredibly hard to build up proficiency for magic, even though a star appears once a skill is finally maxed out. You can never track your progress. The viewers agree, and they begin spamming the chat, betting that Hanbit will rage quit after using the same spell for 2 months. Seeing the comments, Hanbit remembers a similar time when magic was incredibly tough to learn in that other dimension. Back then, the master you actually studied under was the most important part. So, he asks Yan Wu which master he needs to learn the magic skill from. Yan Wu is stunned. The comments start buzzing with hate, but Yan Wu calms them, explaining that after you finish certain quests, the game rewards players with books that let them learn skills right away. As for the computer characters, they are smart, but not enough to actually teach skills. Learning about these skill books, Hanbit realizes things have gotten way easier than his past lives when a master trained him to death. Shaking it off, Hanbit tells them they should head to the general store. And Yan Wu is shocked that he even knows about the place. Yan Wu mentions they can just pick up fire magic from the merchant there, a guy named Yulio. Hearing that name, Hanbit calls Yulio a total scammer the second he realizes they are buying a book from him. Hanbit slanders the poor merchant so hard that the fans find his words absolutely brutal. Not only that, Hanbit tells Yan Wu he would rather save 1,001 than him if both were drowning. Still, Yan Wu says they should head to Yulio's shop for the fire attribute magic. All right, you and I are watching as Hanbit thinks differently though. He glides through his screen and spots his old teacher, Azel. So he asks Yan Wu if he recognizes her. Yan Wu immediately suspects Hanbit is just after her looks. But Hanbit insists she is absolutely top tier. Patiently, Yan Wu explains that Osville is just a quest character who commits fraud before getting locked up and disappearing forever. He explains that due to her pretty character design, fans begged for a romance route, but things definitely did not end up the way players hoped for. Hanbit, being stubborn as always, cuts him off and demands they go prove it by finding Azel right now. The viewers start getting annoyed because he is being so difficult. Noticing the chat's anger, he decides to pivot and follow the path to Yulio like they want. After watching him switch up, they bet he has to dance if he is wrong about Yulio, and he silently agrees. He tells Yan Wu to follow him, but the guy is confused by the weird path they're taking. Hanbit just calls it a shortcut, shocked that Hanbit knows the way. Yan Wu asks if he has been here before, but Hanbit blames a gut feeling. Minutes later, they reach Yulio's shop. Seeing the man, Hanbit is fuming as he remembers Yulio framing him in a past life. He curiously asks Yan Wu how smart these characters are. Yan Wu explains these non-player characters have total freedom, and how you treat them changes everything. It can totally derail your game. From the viewers, you and I know that means some players got soft-locked and had to delete their whole characters. Furious, Hanbit stomps into the store and marches straight up to Yulio. He grabs him by the collar, asking if he is pulling that same old scam. He calls him a total piece of garbage. Yan Wu and the chat are shocked, and they notify Yan Wu that someone else is coming up right now. Julio wonders why Hanbit is attacking him. After all, Hanbit just came to buy a book, so he begs for mercy. Hanbit lets go, only for Julio to lie. He claims the book is sold, but offers a lead if Hanbit does a favor. He explains a thief broke into the store while he was napping, and he suspects it was his rival merchant, Azel. He asks for help catching the thief, and suddenly a new quest window pops right up. There is a reward if he finishes it. And the chat thinks Hanbit lost, because scammers usually do not give out real quest rewards. Hanbit, on the other hand, knows Azel was his real mentor who helped him, until Yulio framed him and threw him in a dungeon back then. It was all orchestrated by Yulio, who paid off guards and faked all the evidence. Hanbit curiously asks for more than just the book as a reward. Asking what happens to the thief, Yan Wu says they basically get deleted after going to jail. Realizing Azel is about to take the fall for Yulio's crimes, Hanbit walks off, completely ignoring whatever lies Yulio is spewing. He heads to the shelves and starts tossing things around without listening to a word Yan Wu says. After digging through the junk, he pulls out a purse and dangles it right in front of Yulio, asking if this was the very item he claimed was stolen. Finally, the system grants him 500 gold for catching the scammer. The chat goes wild as viewers realize Julio is a complete fraud. Hearing him admit to everything only seals his fate. Julio demands Hanbit leave, but Hanbit just boots him across the shop. The losers start complaining, while the winning bettors brag about their predictions. Suddenly, a guard storms in, and for a second, Hanbit thinks he is totally cooked. Moments later, Julio is arrested and hauled away. Hanbit notes how different this is from the past. Back then, he had to fight through bribed guards just to find someone honest. The system pops up a notification. Quest cleared. Next stop is Asel's general store to start the next mission. While the viewers keep arguing, Hanbit feels like the game is actually reacting to his every move. Is this all just one big coincidence? Yan Wu is shocked. How did he know? Hanbit just shrugs. He knows the truth is too unbelievable. So he spins a lie about reading something similar in an old fantasy novel years ago. Now he wonders if the game's developer was secretly an author. Yan Wu totally buys it and calls him a geek. All those military years talking about novels finally paid off. Then, someone donates 10,000 won. Yan Wu immediately starts sucking up to them while glaring at Hanbit. The sudden change in the chat's energy catches Hanbit off guard. He decides to let Yan Wu handle the spotlight for now. He asks if Azel's shop is nearby, but Yan Wu is still clueless. He had no idea the two shops were even connected. This discovery is going to be huge in the community. They head out. Hanbit knows Julio will be forgotten in no time. He remembers Azel, a bossy lady who was framed and died a horrific death before. To him, she is a painful, precious memory. Currently, he knocks and walks right in. She looks at him, totally confused. She asks if he is actually looking for her. He smirks, calling her a newbie and asking if it is her first time. Straight to the point, he wants to learn magic from her. She stops what she is doing. Learn magic? This guy is hilarious. Why would she teach a stranger? But Hanbit knows this is going to plan. Rejection was expected. He has a solution. Meanwhile, the chat is losing it over their new mommy. Azel studies him closely. Is he really the Black Dragon? He confirms it, revealing Julio was the one framing her. She sighs, calling that guy a total piece of trash. She genuinely thanks him for saving her from trouble. They shake hands. Honestly, his face already told her everything. She assumes he wants a magic book, but he asks about her cure instead. She freezes. How could he possibly know about that? He just points to the notes sitting on her desk. Our main character offers to find her a cure, which honestly just insults her. Annoyed, she asks if he is actually some medical expert, and he just rolls with it. Seeing his absolute confidence, she tests him on a disease that turns your pupils blue, causing dizziness and vomiting. Hanbit admits he has no clue what it is called, but he can see her frustration from being scammed way too many times by fake experts in the past. They promised cures, but only wasted her time and ran off with her gold. But after going through this before, he lists her hidden symptoms and proves regular potions are useless. A desperate Asuval grabs him, begging to know if he understands. He says the sickness is nameless, but he knows the secret cure. She is stunned and practically begs for his help, promising a massive reward. Naturally, he guarantees he will track down the medicine she needs right away. Suddenly, a system window pops up with a quest to save her mother. He needs to find medicine near Edund. And the payout is 2,000 gold, plus a fireball spellbook from the legendary Asel. Plus, he will hit heroic rank with 500 experience. The viewers watching the stream go absolutely wild, seeing a guaranteed heroic rank on the line. They are so hyped they actually start logging into the game themselves. Even Yano cannot believe he is getting a title this fast. He breaks down exactly how the rankings work. Think of the rank as level and rarity as the grade. Even if two magic books share same rank, the actual power of the magic depends on that rarity level. Hanbit takes it all in, wondering if the game logic is really this complex. Yan Wu wonders if they just need to pick the medicine. But Hanbit is deep in thought, planning to use the spellbook to show off just how good the Hierogra is. As Yan Wu asks about their next move, Hanbit suddenly jumps. Worried, his friend asks him what is going on. Suddenly, Hanbit hears his mother's voice. He shouts a reply and quickly logs out, leaving his partner there totally stranded. The live chat is dying of laughter, since the legendary Black Dragon got summoned by his mom. Back in his room, Hanbit sprints to his bedroom door to greet her, claiming he was just really busy. She gets the completely wrong idea and starts hitting him for doing something inappropriate alone. Since he never locks his door, she assumed the absolute worst. Luckily, he points to the pricey virtual reality setup Yan Wu bought him as a military discharge gift, and explains he was just playing the game. She looks at it and speaks about it casually, which catches him off guard. So, she already knows about it because it is all over news. She tells him not to spend too much time, and he says he will only play for a bit, since he actually landed an internship job. Shocked by the news, his mother smacks him for keeping a secret. He just shrugs, knowing she would have tried to stop him. She gives him a firm slap and says it is pretty obvious why. No parent wants their kid working right after coming home from the military, you know. Rubbing his nose, he explains that he has to graduate and find a career path as soon as he gets back to his university classes. She goes silent, taking it in. She reminds him not to skip breakfast. After all, his office is a long way from home. Mom can tell he hasn't eaten a single bite all day. But he mentions that Yan Wu treated him to a chocolate parfait earlier. Sugar isn't real food to an old lady, though, so she lets him have it. With a quick good luck, she heads off. Hanbit checks the clock and realizes time has flown. Tomorrow is his big first day as an intern, and reality is finally sinking in. He decides to turn in early, though he feels a bit guilty leaving Yan Wu hanging. Meanwhile, Yan Wu is drowning in a flood of comments. Over at a specialized workshop, employee Kim Ya scrolls through the server. He sees the massive hype over Asel's quest and the rankings, but he's not buying it. Ya looks up Yan Wu's account, only to find nothing but a long list of monster names. Judging by the chat, he finds out Yan Wu is teamed with some kid called Black Dragon. He scoffs, calling him an edgy brat who got shut down by his mother. Deciding to investigate, Ya dives in to see the truth himself. Back in the game world, Yan Wu is getting peppered with questions from fans about who Hanbit actually is. Some viewers are even wondering if he's just some middle school kid. Yan Wu sets them straight. Hanbit has finished his service and is just a devoted son to his mom. He glances at the viewer count and freezes. His stream has exploded, hitting the mainstream front page of the entire platform. Desperate, Yan Wu calls Hanbit, practically begging him to pick up his phone. No answer. Instead, he gets a text from Hanbit apologizing for the sudden radio silence. Hanbit explains that he's off to work, but he's left a vital clue on how to find the medicine. Yan Wu hypes up the crowd, riling them into a frenzy before dropping the big reveal. Hanbit discovered that the cure for Oswell's quest is actually dropped by those explosive bomb slimes. And if they clear it before he gets back, he promises to share even more secret intel. It's time for the fans to stay sharp. Hanbit shows up in his best suit. He stands before a massive skyscraper, then nervously heads inside to inform them that he'll be working there. But immediately, the office is pure chaos. Employees are running everywhere, desperately trying to manage the madness. A senior spots him and barks an order for Minyu to take the new guy to the conference room. Minyu gives him a quick nudge, signaling for Hanbit to follow along. He promises to handle the paperwork later. For now, Hanbit just needs to wipe down the whiteboard. Hanbit gets to work, but the mood shifts the second the boss walks through the door. Minyu introduces the new intern. Hanbit bows low, promising to work his heart out and learn everything he can. But the reaction, cold. The boss just brushes him off, telling him to do what he's told and leave once the cleaning is done. After he steps out, Hanbit can already tell this company's future looks pretty grim. Looks like he'll be teaching himself everything if he wants to survive the rest of his internship. Still, he tells himself this is way better than fighting for his life in another dimension. Back on the stream, Yan Wu is grinning. It turns out no one has been able to clear the mini-quest Hanbit set. Suddenly, Hanbit appears on screen, absolutely roasting the viewers for their lack of imagination. He tells them they need to think outside the box. This sends the chat into a total rage. But then he grabs the recorder, ready to show these players how a pro actually gets things done. First, they head toward the main gate, which surprises Yan Wu. Is Hanbit really just a newbie to this game? Same old excuse. Hanbit just says he read way too many fantasy novels. He tells Yan Wu this game offers way more freedom than any other. A crowd gathers up ahead. What's all this commotion? Yan Wu realizes these people are here because of that community post. Suddenly, someone shouts that the vanguard has arrived. A high-level party of various members slowly approaches the venue. Surprised to see the party, Yan Wu warns Hanbit. News of his discovery spread faster than expected. Hanbit is lost. What's a vanguard? Yan Wu explains. The top 10,000 rankers are called the vanguard, graded on their levels and points. Points for proficiency, story progress, and things like that. Out of 300 million players, there are only 10,000 rankers, and 500 are from Korea. Hanbit is totally confused. They look like mages, yet most of them haven't even learned magic. Growth is the priority. Many skip magic for speed. High requirements, plus dressing like a mage looks cool. Hanbit catches a glimpse of a very special bow. It's the golden bird, crafted by a legendary artisan. Why hasn't this fancy group cleared the Ozil quest? Hanbit asks Yan Wu and learns that most of the vanguard actually belong to massive conglomerates. Many try reaching this level just to get full support from major companies. They can get rich that way without ever actually having to clear the game. Suddenly, a girl taps Hanbit. After confirming he is a black dragon, she greets him. She asks him when he plans on showing them how to clear the quest. He says he will start soon. Someone else shows up and yells that it's a total lie. But the lady insists on giving Hanbit a chance. The crowd begins to argue, sharing their bad experiences dealing with all kinds of scammers. While they argue, Hanbit tells Yan Wu they're heading seaward. Yan Wu is confused. The bomb slimes are inland. Hanbit says he needs a fishing rod for medicine. Both Yan Wu and the chat are baffled, wondering where Hanbit is going with this. Suddenly, a huge donation comes in, and instantly, the price of fish in the local waters begins to skyrocket. Everyone realizes that scalpers are monitoring Hanbit in real time and adjusting the value of the local currency. Hanbit just snickers. These guys don't have a single clue. Curious, Yan Wu asks if what they need is in the sea, but Hanbit remains nonchalant and dismissive. Frustrated, Yan Wu begs him, please don't be lying, or he'll quit streaming forever. Hanbit quickly intervenes and tells Yan Wu to trust him. He even asks to borrow 70 gold coins. Everyone is stunned by this move. They wonder if it is a setup. When they reach the bank, it is packed. He turns to Yan Wu and asks why it's so crowded. After seeing Yan Wu's panic, Hanbit promises he will pay him back. Yan Wu just says it is because he has no idea what Hanbit plans for a fishing rod. After scouting the entire area, Hanbit spots an old man named Eldritch who is busy fishing. He approaches him to buy the gear, but the old man just jokes about whether he wants a hot rod. Hanbit calls out his act, knowing the man can hear him perfectly, so he offers to pay 50,000 gold coins worth of gold for the equipment. To the viewer's surprise, the geezer demands 100,000, so Hanbit counters by pricing it at 60,000. Recognizing the old man hasn't changed, they keep bidding while fishing together until Hanbit finally manages to talk the price down. Eldritch does not filter his words during their talk, bringing back nostalgic memories of the old days for Hanbit. Eventually, the old man folds and Hanbit buys it for 60,000. The viewers roast him for his shady attitude, but victory is victory. A while later, Hanbit arrives at the venue with the fishing rod, leaving the curious viewers wondering what he plans to do next. Button Wu starts messing around by asking Hanbit to roleplay as a newbie in the chat, suddenly asking what kind of monster a bomb slime is. Yan Wu explains that they are incredibly sensitive slimes, and if anything touches them, they immediately blow up in a massive explosion. Even if one attacks them from a distance, they still blow up. Worst of all, they detonate if someone makes eye contact, and they drop nothing when they explode. The newbie wonders how Hanbit plans to use a fishing rod against those slimes. And the entire chat believes only Hanbit knows the answer. Positioned high above, Hanbit finds a bomb slime and says he is at the perfect height. He takes out the fishing rod, noting how the sensitivity is a bit different from reality. He adjusts it, but just as he is about to get serious, Yan Wu informs them that thanks to a viewer, they know people are following them. Hanbit looks unbothered and notes that he already knew. They have been followed from a distance ever since leaving the city, and it is not just one group but several of them. Quickly, he asks Yan Wu to give him control of the screen setting. When handed over, he apologizes to everyone before turning off the live feed, saying they will have a brief moment of technical difficulties. Back in the military, Yan Wu always loved reading fantasy books, but no one in his unit shared his hobby. He was left to read pages over and over until they wore out. Over time, Hanbit showed up, and to the surprise of Yan Wu, he had already read the novel. And it was thanks to him that Yan Wu learned of extra details he never caught. It felt like Hanbit had actually lived those adventures. By the time Yan Wu saw the game ad, he immediately knew playing with him would be fun. He immediately knew that if he played it with Hanbit, It would be unbelievably fun for everyone. Presently, Yanwu informs Hanbit that only his screen is being broadcast. Hanbit agrees, while noting that they need to pretend as if they are focused only on the slimes. Yanwu speaks to the viewers to follow his channel, but they just yell at him to move his head away. Hanbit understands how frustrating it is for the viewers and notes how anxious they are about the competitors catching up to them. He notes the intense battle of wits won't last much longer, and before long, the party stalking them finally steps up. Upon seeing them, Hanbit shares his screen and waves to his fans before launching the rod hook into the air. He notes the hook is so sharp that the bomb slimes cannot even react to it. Then he presses the button on the rod. Those spikes from the hook allow him to manipulate the blast. The slime caught in the explosion, its core remains perfectly intact. The party is floored by Hanbit's insane knowledge and retreats immediately. But suddenly, a literal rain of slimes drops. They have to run for it. Unfortunately for them, they get caught in the shockwave and are completely wiped out. Yanwu is stunned by how smoothly Hanbit handled those annoying stream snipers. All right, let's get back to business. Look at that uniquely colored slime. Hanbit hooks it with his rod, but this one doesn't blow up. He bags it up, announcing that the materials are finally secured. The team is baffled why this slime didn't go boom. Hanbit explains that this one is just a dud. This only happens when you wipe out bomb slimes all at once. Any survivors instantly mutate into these dud slimes. Curious, Yano asks if they can win by following his lead. Hanbit is showing them the ropes so they can actually clear the quest themselves. He grins like a total maniac, knowing explosion control is way beyond their level. Moving on. They head straight to the shop. Meanwhile, Jae-ha, whose team nearly got wiped by those bomb slimes, realizes Hanbit is definitely no ordinary rookie at all. He suspects a major corporation is backing him. One that is absolutely massive compared to his own studio. Why team up with a low-tier streamer like Yano? He wonders if Hanbit's vanguard discovered something huge, using him as a distraction to divert the entire player base. It's nagging him. Jay needs this quest to finally meet his monthly work quota. Bad news, though. Success isn't happening today. Later, Asuvil is totally grossed out by that dead slime. Hanbit calls this sludge medicine for her mom, so she refuses. Seeing her disgusted reaction, Hanbit asks if it's really that bad while Asuvil pays him. Then she kicks him out. Hanbit rants that she isn't desperate, making her snap back. He suddenly shoves the sludge in her mouth and forces it down. Yanwu is absolutely stunned by Hanbit's actions, and the chat is reading his terrified expression like an open book. Asuvil is still processing the shock. She rushes inside to vomit while Hanbit casually calls the medicine effective. Yanwu, however, just has to state the obvious. Moments later, she grabs him screaming. She calls him a freak, but he asks about a seed. He calls it a wow, explaining that this seed is what's causing their sickness. He reveals the truth behind the mysterious illness that she and her mother have been suffering from. She is completely confused, but he insists that what she threw up was the root cause of the disease. He smirks, revealing that he knew she was sick too, having noticed her condition the very first time they met. He already knew. Hanbit realizes Oval suffered in silence, hiding her pain so she wouldn't worry her sick mother. She also feared that guys like Julio would exploit her illness as a weakness. When she asks how he knew, he explains the secret of the seed. It is a southern parasitic seed that latches onto the stomach walls. It likely came from southern ingredients, and bomb slime mucus is the cure. That specific mucus is the only way to detach the parasite. They needed a dud slime because it will not explode. Without the explosion, the mucus just induces some heavy vomiting. That is how the parasitic seed finally gets removed. Hanbit reveals it was never a normal disease at all. He hands over the plate, gently telling her to go help her mother. Even in this game world, she remains the same. He calls her a foolish girl who prioritizes everyone's pain over her own. She might have a sharp tongue, but she always had his back, and he wants her happy. Flash forward as her mother eats it and vomits the seeds. Furious at the scammers, she vows to make them pay. The stream chat is absolutely shocked. Even Hambit notes it has been ages since she smiled. She cries while thanking him, officially becoming the chat's best girl. Hambit reminds the viewers they did not do anything. She offers him the spell book in gratitude. He tries to thank her, but she is not having it. Yan Wu wants to touch it, but Hambit claims it. They prepare to leave, but Oval stops them for one more thing. A massive first clear reward suddenly pops up. He receives exactly 2,000 gold coins. The system doubles it, boosting his stats even further. He levels up from the bonus. Even the heroic book upgrades to a unique class. While wishing her well, another notification appears. Seeing this, the chat explodes with hype. Yan Wu is stunned, asking Hambit to address the fans. He turns to the screen. The chat is moving way too fast. While Yan Wu panics, Ozil hands Hambit a page. He is officially labeled a savior with a point multiplier. It is an invite to the local blacksmith shop. She knows they lack gear. Their current equipment was totally wrecked by that slime. She offers her help whenever they need. The viewers act like she is talking to them. Some even jump in the game to try and find her. The duo leaves, wondering about their next move. Yano explains the game's open-world map. You and I are jumping right back into the action, where players have total freedom. Usually everyone spawns in at Edend, but after that, the entire map is yours to explore. But there is a catch. Wandering aimlessly might land you in a high-level zone you cannot handle. Still curious? Yan Wu asks Hambit why he is using his real face instead of a custom avatar. Hambit hesitates, thinking about how he could ever explain the whole goddess situation. Yan Wu starts bragging, claiming he spent 5 hours perfecting his own character model. The livestream chat is honestly getting a little worried about him. He even warns Hambit not to fall for any girls here, since they are probably just guys. While Hambit tries to figure out his next move, a notification pops up. Someone just dropped 50,000 credits to see him get angry. Yan Wu snaps into host mode to thank the donor, but the money keeps coming. One person sends 10 grand, and another follows up with 30 grand. Donations are flooding the screen, and Yan Wu is doing his absolute best to keep up. He shows Hambit the viewer count, and you and I can see there are over 8,000 people watching. Hambit shyly thanks everyone. But the chat has one demand: they want to see the 100 grand reaction. Hambit does the math and realizes his own cut is nearly 250 grand. Then he spots Yan Wu shamelessly doing the 0-2 dance, definitely scarring the poor viewers. He only finished one quest, and he is already making this kind of money. He wonders how much he will earn if this pace keeps up. If this works, he can finally pay back everything he owes his mother. He remembers when that goddess showed him how time passed in the real world just to pressure him. He learned he was reported missing, and his mom spent everything she had to find him. That is exactly why he is determined to do whatever it takes to make her happy. Yan Wu nudges him to use the grimoire, since the viewers are dying for some action. So, Hambit touches the book, and it vanishes right as his unique fireball skill is unlocked. It is a fire spell powerful enough to incinerate anything in a massive, fiery explosion. Hambit reads the skill and thinks this is way too simple. It is nothing like the struggle he faced before. Yan Wu tells him to describe the sensation to the fans. Honestly, Hambit admits he did not really feel a single thing. But then he remembers he has to put on a show for his fans. He makes up a story about information flooding his brain, even though it feels weird. He definitely learned the skill, but something is off. He wonders how his training from that other world is manifesting inside a video game. Now he finally understands what the system meant by using an existing character at the start. Yan Wu is dying to see it, telling Hambit to blast that nearby rock for the audience. Hambit remembers exactly how to channel the spell. He follows the steps, and a massive fireball erupts from his palm, streaking toward the target. The moment it connects, the rock is literally blown to smithereens, leaving Yan Wu absolutely stunned. while Hanbit casually notes that the spell is not too bad. He suddenly feels that goddess watching him, her hand reaching down as if to snatch him again. But by the time he snaps back to reality, a notification pops up. All his skills are leveling up, and those effects, they're getting massive boosts from his experience level. Plus, he just unlocked a brand new spirit skill. Mentally exhausted, Hanbit grits his teeth and quietly curses that goddess under his breath. Realizing the goddess has been watching this whole time, that shock makes Hanbit completely lose his cool. Yan Wu notices his weird behavior and asks him if he's actually feeling all right. Hanbit quickly snaps out of it and tells him not to worry. He's pretty sure he'd never believe the crazy truth about his goddess anyway. He makes up an excuse, claiming that high-ranking spell really drained him since it was his very first time using it. To change the subject, he asks him to show him a normal spell. Surprised by the sudden request, Yan Wu double-checks if he's being serious. He gives him a fair warning first. He better not laugh when he sees it. With that settled, Yan Wu launches the magic, but all Hanbit sees is a tiny little flame that flickers out immediately. He starts complaining, but honestly, Hanbit thinks their current skill levels are just straight-up pathetic. But considering their different traits, he lets it go. Instead of pushing it, he tells Yan Wu he's doing it wrong by just imagining the spell. It's a fresh perspective he just picked up from reading that book. He blames Yulio for teaching them the wrong basics, before going into full geek mode about magic theory. With that, he finishes by telling him he won't be using his unique high-class magic as his main weapon going forward. After all, the point of magic is being convenient. Totally stunned, Yan Wu points out that he only made his character yesterday. Naturally, the chat starts roasting Hanbit for being such a massive hardcore nerd. Annoyed, he nearly snaps at his viewers and swears he won't share any more secrets from now on. But then, a viewer drops a massive donation, and everything changes in an instant. Hanbit cools down and apologizes for his temper. They ask him where he's heading next, so he goes to a remote spot. Yan Wu follows, asking why he's skipping the main story entirely. Hanbit explains he's here to farm points before finally diving into the main story's plot line. He opens the door to a shed, and as they step inside, Yan Wu mentions how creepy it feels. Hanbit ignores the vibe and approaches the owner, an archery NPC named Hunter Rickner. Rickner asks what he wants, and Hanbit tells him flat out that he's there to master archery. Seeing his absolute confidence, Rickner asks if he's got any real grit. Meanwhile, the live chat, who know this guy well, call him the NPC obsessed with grit. Hanbit claims he has both grit and skill, but Rickner thinks he's just talking big. He decides to test him. A quest screen pops up instantly, challenging Hanbit to pass the trial. Moments later, they're at the archery range, where Rickner starts explaining the ground rules. He needs to score 200 points in 30 shots. Every bullseye is worth 10 points. Worried, Yan Wu suggests he should dump some stat points into agility first. But Hanbit refuses, insisting that he's got this. He takes the first shot and misses the entire board. Yan Wu tries to warn him again. Still, Hanbit promises he's finally getting a feel for it. His next arrow actually hits a 7. Yan Wu is genuinely impressed by that. But what happens next? A total shocker. Every single shot lands dead center. That brings the total to a staggering 287 points. This proves that Hanbit can pull off the absolute impossible, using nothing but basic level 2 gear. Back in town, a mysterious lady flips gold coins, complaining about being bored while lounging near the geysers. Suddenly, her eyes lock onto Hanbit and Yan Wu as they walk through the main gates. She smirks to herself, wondering what kind of fools have come looking for her this time. Just moments earlier, after grabbing the archery skill and a pile of gold, Yan Wu looked even more hyped than Hanbit. Hanbit asks what is up, prompting Yan Wu to fanboy over his archery skills from back in school. Yan Wu is so money-driven, he actually admits to setting up a betting pool on the side. They hit the ultimate underdog jackpot because nobody expected our guy to be a master with the bow. He just snickers. It feels good to flex, but the chat quickly reminds him that they are still watching everything. Curious, Yan Wu wonders where they are going. Hanbit is aiming for swordsmanship, but first, the swiftness skill. This catches Yan Wu and the chat off guard. How does swiftness even help with a sword? In fact, most of them are already calling it a total trash skill. Hanbit does not care. He takes off, telling Yan Wu to stop bickering and just keep up. As they enter the town, Yan Wu points out an NPC named Li. There is a reason everyone avoids her swiftness quest. The challenge is just way too brutal compared to what the skill actually offers the players. He asks Hanbit one last time if he is actually serious about trying to do this. Hanbit just walks right up to Li, introducing himself and asking to learn her legendary speed. She eyes him up, admitting that she actually likes his bold and confident attitude. Then boom, she instantly speed blitzes right past both of them. She swipes his coins, grinning like a witch while mocking them for being way too slow. That will be 5,000 gold for tuition, paid up front, of course. She is shocked that Hanbit is not panicking. He just tells her since she already took the money. She might as well just start teaching him the skill already. To him, this is nothing. She stole way more from him during his 55 cycles elsewhere. Seeing his calm, laid-back vibe, Li flat out tells him she does not like him. But just like that, she announces that their first class is officially in session. His first and only assignment, all he has to do is try to catch her. Before he can react, she moves with such insane speed that she leaves afterimages trailing behind her everywhere. A quest window pops up, catch Li, within the time limit to clear the objective. The rewards are huge. Her swiftness skill book, massive stat points, and a ton of experience. The chat is going wild, claiming there is no way anyone can catch her at that speed. Usually, she just scams players for gold and leaves them hanging for hours on end. They end up waiting 15 hours just for a chance. It is a total nightmare. You cannot even take other quests, and the timer pauses if you log out. Hanbit is determined, though. He says they are definitely going to catch her right now. But Yan Wu reminds him that it is impossible. Nobody has ever caught her directly before. Hanbit thinks for a second, if he cannot catch her on his own. He just needs to find someone who can, so they head straight to Azel for help. Azel is happy to see him back, but she is definitely surprised by his weird request. Avel is suspicious, asking how he even knew about her family connection to Li. But Hanbit just brushes it off, lying that it is common knowledge in the street hideouts. Having no other choice, she agrees and storms out of the room in a total rage. Meanwhile, Yan Wu and the chat are stunned to discover that Avel and Li are sisters. Hanbit doubles down on his lie, claiming he saw some graffiti mentioning Li's location. Some skeptical viewers rewatch the footage, but cannot find a single trace of what he mentioned. They start thinking he has some crazy hawk eyes, which would explain why he's elite with a bow. Hanbit takes a moment to address his viewers, warning them to stay alert, and explaining that throwing Asel in jail would have ruined their only chance at catching Li. Yan Wu signals for them to get moving, and the group heads toward the street hideouts together. Over with Li, she is chilling with a cat, convinced that Hanbit has finally given up the chase. But to her surprise, Avel appears right behind her, and she looks absolutely furious about the whole situation. They corner her in seconds, causing Li to snap and scream that using Asel was totally cheating. Hanbit calmly reminds her that she told him to use any means necessary to win. So he brought Asel along since they already had a long history together. Fed up, Avel calls her over and gives her a massive scolding, warning her to stop or she'll eventually end up with a total scumbag like Julio. Li apologizes immediately, though Ozil is not finished, demanding that Li report to the shop once this is all over. She adds a stern warning that there will be trouble if she gets distracted again. Li accepts her fate and hands Hanbit her swiftness book, admitting he is unlike anyone she's met. Since a deal is a deal, the book is officially his to keep. Suddenly, a system notification rings out. Since Hanbit finished the quest so fast, his reward has been upgraded to the absolute maximum possible level for this task. He earns triple the stat points and a massive 500 times experience multiplier. The chat, seeing Hanbit score yet another unique skill, just cannot handle their jealousy at this point. Lee, meanwhile, makes a quick exit, praying she never has to cross paths with Hanbit again. Moments later, poor Yanwu, who is completely out of breath, finally catches up only to realize he missed all the action. Hanbit flashes the unique class book, leaving Yanwu absolutely speechless by the legendary loot. Even the viewers are struggling to keep up with his insane progress now. They start wondering how he knows things before they happen and who really owns this stream. While holding the book, Hanbit tells Yanwu that he is about to master his swordsmanship skill. Hanbit absorbs the book. And despite this being his third one, the sensation is still bizarre. Curious, Yanwu asks him why he chose the swiftness skill. Hanbit explains it with a simple analogy about what would happen if they both had a race. With the swiftness skill, he would have just enough of an edge to beat Yanwu easily. Still, Yanwu feels like a unique grade skill should have made a bigger impact than that. But Hanbit, who has died 50 times before, knows exactly why this skill is vital. Yanwu then draws his sword, bragging he's Hanbit Senior here. After all, he is ranked number 2 in swordsmanship, and his skill is already at an advanced grade. The chat immediately starts roasting him, and Hanbit repeats every insult. He then points out that most players, including Yanwu, are following the exact same path. All because of that basic guidebook, and the fact that nobody talks to Ozil because of Julio. This triggers a massive chain reaction. With this level of absolute freedom, it's impossible to tell which path is actually right. Since he's the first to clear those quests, Hanbit knows his experiences are the ultimate guide. He stands his ground. He's going to clear this game his own way. The goddess's true motives are a mystery, but he's done being anyone's mindless puppet. Later, Hanbit and Yanwu head outside the town. Hanbit wonders why the top-tier swordsmanship instructor lives so far out. Yanwu explains that the man is a legendary reclusive swordsman. They reach a fog-covered clearing, and Yanwu calls out for Balder. Spotting the swordsman, he waves, shouting that they're here to learn the blade. Balder stares them down. Yanwu can feel that terrifying pressure already. The master grabs a wooden sword and tells Hanbit to swing until he says stop. This master, he doesn't do small talk, he just tells Hanbit, begin. Moments later, Hanbit drops his heavy gear and grips the training sword. Watching him, Yanwu notes that this quest is split into swinging and sparring. Yanwu asks the chat how long it took everyone else to pass this stage. According to the viewers' responses, it usually takes anywhere from 90 minutes to nearly 3 hours. But they give him a warning, never mess with Balder. If you do, you're dead meat. A viral clip shows why. One player mocked Balder and got instantly sliced in half. Yanwu finds it insane that an instructor NPC can just murder players like that. The stream goes wild, promising a massive donation if Hanbit finishes in under 25 minutes. Yanwu shouts that the pot is over 800,000 won. He's hyping Hanbit up to crush this in record time. Hanbit realizes this stake is double what they bet during his archery training session. He locks in. The secret to swinging isn't just about counting how many times you do it. See from the start, Balder didn't expect anything special from some random novice. Most treat swords like tools, and to a master like Balder, that is a total insult. The only thing he actually respects is a serious attitude toward the blade. Hanbit's aura shifts. He grips the sword and looks Balder in the eye. But as he goes for that first strike, Balder stops him immediately, leaving the chat completely baffled. It worked. Hanbit smirks as a system screen pops up with a brand new quest. Now he has to spar against Balder. The difficulty? It scales perfectly with his own stats. Yanwu celebrates, telling the viewers that Hanbit just skipped the first stage. The chat blows up, trying to call the bet off. Suddenly, a 10,001 donation hits. One viewer is doubling down. To win, Hanbit just needs to block twice. Then, someone drops a massive 100 grand. The new deal: block 4 strikes and clear, or they both have to bungee jump off a cliff. Hanbit starts to sweat, High proficiency means the system will make this hellish. Yan Wu panics after realizing he's been dragged into this. But Hanbit just gives him a wicked smile and grabs his shoulder. Now he's terrified. Luckily, Hanbit promises his buddy they definitely won't go bungee jumping. Suddenly, a fan drops 1,000,000 won on the mission. Now, you and I are seeing real friendship goals. Hanbit is floored. The total bounty is sitting at almost 2,000,000 now. He steals his resolve and squares up, dropping into a sharp combat stance. Balder gauges him before exploding forward with a lethal reverse slash. Hanbit parries, but gets sent flying by the impact. Yan Wu and the livestream viewers are stunned by Balder's sheer, sudden aggression. Even more shocking, Hanbit actually managed to block it. Balder exhales and unleashes a lightning-fast quick draw. Hanbit blocks it, his arms trembling from the shock. He realizes that his movements feel sluggish. It is likely the Game Gear's sync rate messing with his reaction time in this world. Fortunately, his swiftness skill kicks in, letting him react just fast enough to survive. Balder pauses, commenting that Hanbit seems to have way too much on his mind. He wonders if Hanbit is genuinely calm or just putting on a front due to the unexpected situation. To everyone's surprise, Hanbit starts talking trash and raging the chat. Even Balder admits he clearly misjudged the kid's character after that stunt. The veteran warrior decides it is time to end things quickly. He lunges with a deadly thrust, but Hanbit just smirks, saying they'll know the truth at the finish line. Suddenly, Balder follows up with a crushing heavy slash that leaves the viewers speechless. Everyone wonders why Balder is going this hard for a simple quest. Luckily, Hanbit evades the strike by a hair's breadth thanks to his agility. The chat is going wild. You and I can see Hanbit noticing something very interesting. Balder is getting impatient. This rookie is still standing when he should have fallen already. Balder goes for another thrust, slamming into Hanbit, only to realize the kid stopped his blade with a stick. He tells Balder that his swings are getting wide, forcing Balder to back off and charge up his next move. Hanbit senses a devastating attack coming. In that heart-pounding instant, it happens. They dash at each other. Their wooden swords clash, but Hanbit's blade snaps, sending him flying backward through the air. As he hits the ground, he announces to the stream that he successfully blocked Balder's hits 4 times in a row. He declares the mission a total success and laughs, even though the man is completely exhausted. But those who bet their hard-earned money are desperately hoping the match isn't over. Suddenly, a notification pops up. The duel is officially over since the wooden sword was destroyed in the clash. The people who bet against Hanbit start complaining, while the rest of the chat is buzzing over that insane fight. When Hanbit finally stands, he checks in about the mission, reward money. Yan Wu promises to split it 50-50 once the stream wraps up. Curious, Yan Wu asks what Hanbit did for a living before he joined the military. Hanbit thinks to himself about his 55 cycles of constant progression, possession, and epic reincarnation throughout his lives. Hanbit stays vague. But Yan Wu mentions that the chat is guessing his past jobs. Funnily enough, every guess involves him wielding a deadly blade. One curious fan asks how the payout will work, and Yan Wu reveals he actually wants to give the entire amount to Hanbit. Stunned, Hanbit reminds him that they already agreed on a 50-50 split. But Yan Wu says it is fine. After all, those missions were cleared purely through Hanbit's own insane physical skills. Hanbit is relieved by Yan Wu's kindness, thanking his lucky stars. No more bungee jumping for him today. But then the chat drops a bombshell. That whole challenge? Yeah, it was fake. The same high roller drops 100 grand, telling Hanbit to keep using the sword so they can learn. And honestly, our team is totally down for that. Next, Hanbit spots Balder resting against a nearby tree. He looks calm, but beneath the surface, he's clearly holding back some serious rage. Hanbit realizes Balder is beating himself up for letting a complete novice read his every move. Still, Hanbit walks over to ask if the duel's done. Balder agrees, telling him to stay put while he grabs something. During their brief chat, Hanbit can tell Balder is gritting his teeth to hide that simmering anger. Whoever faces Balder next is in for a world of pain, no doubt about it. Balder hands over a sword book. It's the fourth one Hanbit has managed to collect so far. System alert! Because Balder's impressed, rewards are getting a massive maximum value boost. He pockets 3,000 gold and a rank 1 training manual. Talk about a major haul. Another unique book. The viewers are stunned he's hitting such a legendary lucky streak. Someone even drops 10,001. Everyone's begging for lessons, so Hanbit whispers for Yan Wu to handle them before slipping away. Yan Wu tries to take over the stream, but the viewers aren't having it. Scram, buddy. Hanbit returns to Balder, asking if there's anything more he can learn. Balder mentions his master moved to Edund, then hands over a specific piece of clothing. If Hanbit shows this to him, the old master might actually give him the time of day. He grabs the napkin, which features a beautifully embroidered sword design. Balder says his master should be located exactly where the wind gathers. Returning to Yan Wu, Hanbit says it's time to go, only to find him doing a dance. A donation pops up. Someone sends money, joking that poor Balder is going to be overworked by players rushing him. They finally reach the town. Yan Wu asks about heading to the master next, but Hanbit calls it for the day. He tells a shocked Yan Wu that he has to go to work. If he doesn't get some sleep now, his real-life shift is going to be a nightmare. So he stretches and says goodbye, promising to see everyone again the very next day. Yan Wu agrees, noting they've been running forever. He wishes our hero a good night's rest. Just before the logout, Yan Wu asks if he'll be back right after his shift. Hanbit says no, then officially logs out. Back in his room, Hanbit wakes up drenched in sweat. Time to wash up and hit the hay. He wonders why it's so hot, then a notification from Yan Wu pings. Yan Wu is settling their payment immediately. Hanbit would have preferred waiting, but he checks the balance. The transfer goes through. Hanbit's jaw nearly hits the floor when he sees the actual total. He nearly freaks out when he realizes they made about 3,000,001 in just 2 days. That's with only 10 hours of actual game time. He actually wonders if he should just quit his real-life job. But he stays grounded. He wants to live in reality, not get lost inside a game forever. He feels a bit bad for his viewers, but he's keeping streaming as a hobby. Mostly, he's worried about Yan Wu, who's been looking out for him. But then he rethinks it. That kind of donation cash flow, probably a one-time thing. Plus, having a stable job would really put his mother's mind at ease. Before drifting off, he decides it is finally time to step up and be a good son. Next morning, his mom literally drags him out of bed. He groans about it being too early, but she quickly shuts that down. It is late, actually. She shoves her phone in his face, demanding to know where all that money came from. She does not give him a second. Panic sets in as she wonders what he is doing all night. Is he into something illegal? Before he can even get a word out, she smacks him right on the head. Talk about tough love. In her mind, there is only one way a kid gets that much cash fast: gambling. He denies it immediately, bringing up his friend Yan Wu and that game they have been playing. It is all from streaming, he explains. Every cent was earned in the game. That finally clears the air. He reminds her that he would never dream of doing anything against the law. She sighs, finally calming down, and says they will finish this talk after she gets home. She tells him to get ready for work, but Hanbit feels like she still doubts him. He calls out that he is serious, and she softens, telling him she really does believe him. She is just worried he is overworking himself just to help out with their situation. As she walks away, he makes a silent vow: no more debt. He is carrying this burden now. He will work his heart out until she can finally live a comfortable life. At work, he had survived a literal hell dimension, so he figured the corporate world would be easy. Boy, was he wrong. His team leader is a complete nightmare, riding him like a rodeo pro. The man treats him like absolute garbage, barking orders and insults. Hanbit thinks back to the moment he stepped through the office doors. Minyu had handed him a stack of papers, all perfectly organized to make his job simpler. He had just started when that toxic boss came out of nowhere, screaming for attention. He calls Hanbit a mere trial version, nitpicking stuff that is not even part of his actual job. Then he tosses a credit card, demanding that the rookie go grab him coffee. Just to be sure, Hanbit asks exactly what kind he wants. The boss just scoffs and glares, informing him that around here, they only drink black Americanos. He asks if Minyu taught him nothing. Hanbit stays quiet to protect Minyu, knowing the boss is just looking for any excuse to fire him. Every step of this errand feels heavy. By the time he is back with the coffee, he finds his boss mid-meltdown again. He is screaming at Minyu, who just stands there with dead eyes, taking the abuse like it is normal. Then, Minyu tries to explain he cannot handle another task on top of his current mountain of work. The boss explodes, calling him arrogant for even daring to question an assignment. Now, he hurls the papers at Minyu, barking that he needs to just shut up and do the work. Seeing this, Hanbit slams the coffee down and drops to the floor to help Minyu clean up. The boss realizes what is happening. He shoots them both a murderous look, clearly done with their lack of respect. Sorting out the paperwork. Back at their seats, Hanbit notices Minyu's expression is a total wreck. He's staring at the monitor with eyes even more hollow and empty than usual. Minyu mutters an apology for letting Hanbit see him in such a pathetic and miserable state. But Hanbit just shrugs, saying that the team leader is in a foul mood. Minyu sighs, apologizing again. It's not just the boss, this new project is a development-heavy beast that is going to swallow his entire life. It's a massive time sink that requires serious work in multiple technical areas. With all this work, he warns Hanbit that he won't be able to mentor him properly, which really weighs on him. Hanbit skims through the documents and realizes this new project is actually related to the roleplay world. Seeing Minyu looking like a lifeless shell, Hanbit offers to jump in and help him with it. After the long day ends, Hanbit meets up with Yan Wu, immediately noticing the deep, dark bags hanging under his friend's eyes. He asks if he's doing okay, suspecting the guy hasn't slept a single wink lately. Yan Wu defends himself, claiming he got a solid 3 hours of shut-eye. He quickly suggests they head inside the cafe before they dive into their big chat. Once settled, Hanbit lets out a long groan about how exhausting the life of a working adult can be. Joking that he could easily stream for hours, just ranting about his nightmare of a team leader. Finally relaxing. Now check this out. Yan Wu pulls out a phone flooded with offers from various desperate gaming companies. One of the biggest names is Yonhwa Gaming. This massive corporation is offering a starting bid of 100 million won. Yan Wu says everyone is hungry to sign him, but Yonhwa is clearly the best choice here. Suddenly, Yan Wu catches Hanbit scowling and tells him he really needs to just relax and loosen up already. But Hanbit isn't having it. He tells Yan Wu to stop hiding his real thoughts now. It is obvious when he's lying. Yan Wu tries to mask his true feelings, but it doesn't work. Hanbit asks him directly, does he really want him to join a huge corporate team? Worried by Hanbit's rising temper, Yan Wu tries to nervously talk his way out of the corner. But Hanbit grabs him by the hair, demanding he be honest for once in his life. The boy yelps in pain before admitting he knows how much Hanbit is currently struggling for cash. So he just wanted Hanbit to have some job security. To him, a 100 million won salary sounded like a dream come true for them. Hanbit thanks him for the thought, but reminds him who started this. Since Yan Wu invited him to the game, his opinion matters more than anything to him. Yan Wu admits the corporate path feels wrong. Sure, having total freedom to explore sounds like a dream at first. But trying to play it himself was frustrating, and progress was painfully slow. Also, he realizes he loves watching more than playing, and in his eyes, he sees the truth. Hanbit is the brightest star. He's the one who makes every captivating moment in the game feel alive. He wants to be right there, watching everything unfold firsthand. He wants to capture those exact moments and share them with everyone. Because of that, he wants to launch a network entirely centered on him. A guild that bridges the gap between reality and the entire gaming world. Hanbit realizes this is the exact dream from their army days, something you and I can definitely respect, and he remembered. Hanbit gets curious, asking his friend how they're actually going to make any cash. Yanwu explains he's using a new video upload feature that was recently added to the record. Streaming ad revenue is huge, way bigger than he ever expected. Plus, Hanbit is easily the most talked about user on the entire platform. They're pinning his videos to the top since his gameplay is the ultimate bait for new players. And then, the fan base is only going to explode. Yanwu asks him if he's ready to take the channel seriously. Hanbit is surprised by this sudden change of heart. Yanwu insists he isn't just an employee anymore. They should be co-CEOs and partners. Hanbit laughs off the fancy title. Just tell me what you need, and I am there to help. He knows he's only in this game because of Yanwu. It's his final shot at reaching Earth. He can't help but wonder what happens after clearing the game and finding Fort. But beyond that, why did he have to die over and over? What was the real reason behind it all? Over lunch, Yanwu shows off his phone, buzzing with texts. He's officially living that celebrity life. But suddenly, a specific message catches his eye. He goes pale and immediately hammers out a call. When no one answers, Yanwu looks like he's about to lose his mind. Hanbit asks what's wrong. Remember that German pioneer group Rasten we saw in the game the other day? Well, things just took a turn for the worse. Yanwu just heard the Osel quest rewards drop in quality on a first-come, first-served basis. Rasten has officially declared they're monopolizing the entire quest for themselves. To make it worse, the slimes in the bomb slime fields have completely vanished. Now, nasty rumors are spreading that Hanbit and Rasten are secretly working together. Hearing this, Hanbit is completely blindsided. He has no clue what's happening. Meanwhile, in-game players are already cursing his name and Rasten's. They're calling them total scammers who can never be trusted again. It's chaos because the best items are gone, leaving only low-grade trash for everyone else. While one guy is losing his cool. The logical teammate points out that the game can't just hand out unique grade loot to every single player. She still vents to her teammate about the slimes being invisible, convinced it's all part of Rasten's dirty tricks. She wants Hanbit to explain himself on stream since he definitely saw the official announcement. Back at the cafe, Hanbit asks just how powerful the Rasten Corporation actually is. Yanwu explains that a company's worth is measured by the heavy-hitting players they have on payroll. He mentions Rasten's top ranger has a combat power of 9,000. For a high-tier ranker, they're on the weaker side, but they're still the real deal. Still, Hanbit thinks he's found a loophole to fix this entire mess. He tells Yanwu to push the stream back. He needs to go investigate something first. That very night, Hanbit scours his guidebook until he finally spots the exact secret he was looking for. He dives back into the game to check it out, heading straight for a specific cave that matches his memory. Bingo, the bomb slimes are all gathered right there. Moving like a ghost, he begins to slip past them. All right, our main character realizes there's only one reason why they would all gather like this. Right ahead, he spots the massive bomb slime king. This creature has a nasty trait where it draws in normal units to absorb them and grow in size. But the number of units it usually pulls in is nothing compared to this current swarm. Hanbit believes there is a deeper reason behind this. He looks closer and finds a monster attractant artifact with the name Rasten etched right onto it. This device is a rare single-use item found only in a specific northern dungeon. It is clear that Rasten planted the attractant inside the cage where the Slime King lives. And this absolute chaos happened because the creature's traits and the item's effects stacked perfectly. Seeing through the trap, Hanbit launches a massive fireball, vaporizing the king before it can even think about exploding. He is immediately showered in experience points, and his level shoots up by 4 in an instant. For taking down the elite monster, Hanbit earns the Recorder of the Sage title. Once activated, this title significantly boosts his skill proficiency. Looking at the huge jump in his stats and levels from just one kill, Hanbit wonders exactly how many slime bombs had fused into that one king, since he recorded the entire bomb slime incident on video. Proving Rastin was the mastermind, he has Yan Wu leak the footage anonymously. He made sure to edit out the part where he used his own fire magic. This move lets the players and viewers absolutely roast the German company online. All this was possible thanks to info from the guidebook regarding Yentrober. He is an NPC miner who actually dug out the cave the king occupied. The poor guy was devastated after the Slime King took over his home. Using that inside info, Hanbit was able to pinpoint the king's location with ease. But something felt off. Yentrober was in the book, but the cave was not. Hanbit starts feeling uneasy, noting that while guidebooks can't cover everything, this one is strange. It's missing key parts and has some very questionable accuracy. Not only are key parts missing, but the accuracy is shaky and some details are flat-out lies. He starts to wonder if Adventurer A, the person who wrote the book, intentionally left these gaps. Who is this mysterious author? Later, he meets with Yan Wu, who explains why everyone avoids magic. It's all about the brutal proficiency grind. Building the skill is incredibly difficult, so most people just give up before they even start. Yan Wu is absolutely floored when Hanbit reveals he has reached 100% proficiency. He starts whining, since pulling that off in a single day should be impossible. He practically clings to Hanbit, begging to see the proof with his own eyes. Hanbit tries to play it down, saying it's only the lowest rank proficiency anyway. But Yan Wu argues that even basic magic takes at least a month of intense training to learn. He keeps pestering him until Hanbit finally has no choice but to show him. When he sees it, Yan Wu drops to his knees, convinced it has to be a bug. Hanbit tells him not to mention this on the stream because he wants to show the villains something interesting. Moments later, Yan Wu starts the live stream, telling everyone they'll soon prove they aren't working with Rastin. You and I should watch closely as Hanbit prepares to find Baldur's master. At Oval's shop, Hanbit checks to see if Lee ran away again, after getting a positive response. He reassures Ozil that Lee is just in a rebellious phase, and it won't be long before they all live together. Hearing him wish her family well makes Assel happy. She thanks Hanbit, then asks why he really showed up. Hanbit reveals he is here for more magic and asks if it is okay. The chat waves him off. They think it is totally impossible. But then, Azel shocks them by agreeing. Now they wonder how he can possibly master a new spell so quickly. She hands him a second book, and a new quest pops up for him. If he can actually pull this off, he will gain a new hero rank flame spell called Flame Burst. Plus he will get 10,000 gold coins and 3,000 experience points. Once the chat sees that hero rank, they start hating. They forgot it used to be an impossible rank for anyone to reach. He sees the Rastin group waiting outside with curious eyes. He absorbs the book, earns the rewards, and his rank levels up to unique once more. Yan Wu announces it to everyone. Hanbit has officially mastered the magic and ranked up. Assel tells him that if he ever gets stuck, he should head to the magic research lab in Ifrit City for some answers. He thanks her and heads out, only to find Rastin's men waiting there looking incredibly anxious. He just walks right past them. Passing the ranger, Hanbit teases him, asking if something bad has actually happened. He tells him to ease that expression. They grab the magic books from Osville, while Hanbit notes that Rastin's group is beyond greedy. Yan Wu is curious. What did Hanbit mean about showing him something earlier? Hanbit just asks a question back. What is the difference between him and Rastin? Right in that moment, the men count to 3 and flip their books open, hoping for a skill. Instead, the books catch fire. They panic trying to put it out, but they fail completely. This makes Azel furious. Seeing her precious books burn and smoke up the house, she finally kicks them out. Suddenly, Yan Wu understands why. But the viewers are lost. They want to know why. Suddenly, one of Rastin's men shouts that the quest changed. Even worse, the book rank just dropped. After realizing none of his team learned the spell, the ranger marches toward Hanbit. He wants to have a little chat. Hanbit calmly asks what is on his mind. The ranger demands an answer. Why was Hanbit the only one to get flame burst? Hanbit just mocks him. He tells the veteran he should figure it out for himself. The ranger is fuming, but the chat loves it. These guys are always gatekeeping skills from everyone. Still, he tells Hanbit that all 50 of his men failed the quest. To make it worse, the entire spell grade was reduced. It is no coincidence. Hanbit must have learned the skill the right way. Hanbit decides to be very blunt about the situation. He tells the ranger that his team stole the hero grade chance from so many other innocent players. He never said it was a coincidence. The ranger is absolutely livid. Hanbit explains it clearly. Mastering proficiency is the real key to ranking up. He asks the ranger if they even bother maxing it out before grabbing that magic book. Total confusion here. So Hanbit reveals the truth. You need max fireball proficiency just to take the next step forward. Hearing this, the ranger scoffed. He assumes that's just the basic rule for every single player. He demands to know how Hanbit snagged the reward without maxing out his own skills first. That is when Hanbit drops the bomb. He already reached the max level. This news shocks the entire chat and the ranger alike. He looks like a stunned bird. To prove his point, Hanbit decides to open his stats for everyone to see, earning a nod from Yan Wu. Normally, he'd keep this private, but since the ranger is pushing him, there is no point in hiding it anymore. He throws a quick diss before finally pulling up his menu. Every single skill, completely maxed. The chat erupts instantly. Some believe he is a hacker, and the ranger immediately screams that he's going to report him for cheating right now. Hanbit tells him to go ahead. Unlike those guys, he has absolutely nothing to hide from anyone. Completely played and totally roasted. Ranger storms off in a rage, while Hanbit tells him to try playing honestly instead of controlling zones. He heads back into the shop and orders his men to stay persistent. They keep pestering Asville so they don't miss out, and she is getting seriously pissed. Hanbit notes they can try for 100 days, but the final result, it is never going to change. He feels bad for Asville having to deal with them. As he leaves, he remembers his old master. Assel was the type of master who wanted her students to build skills without getting greedy. He vividly remembers how she literally beat the magic basics into him to ensure he learned them right. Did she see too many beginners die? Maybe that is why she hammered those basic spells into him through every single one of his cycles. Once, when he tried being greedy, she kicked him out and warned him never to show his face again. Her principles never changed, even with the game world interfering with everything. That is why Rasten's complaining only makes her hate them more. Her affinity is tanking by the second. Just like it did for him. Yan Wu is exhausted just watching Rasten. He warns Hanbit that he was being way too harsh earlier, especially since Rasten's loyal fans might start flaming them all over the internet. Without a care, Hanbit tells Yan Wu to just deal with them himself. Yan Wu is confused, pointing out that he wasn't the one picking a fight. But he forgets who actually owns the account. Yan Wu reminds him and starts making fun of the guy. The donations start rolling in. Viewers thank Hanbit for the chance to farm slime bombs and for showing them why proficiency actually matters so much. As Hanbit walks away, he mentions stopping by the shop, and Yan Wu asks when they'll look for Baldur's legendary master. But Hanbit tells him there's something else he needs to prepare first. Shortly after, they reach the town, and Hanbit wonders why the place is so incredibly crowded today. Yan Wu spots the main attraction and points her out to his friend. It is Rafina, a high-ranking elementalist. The chat goes absolutely wild the moment they see her. While they argue over who she belongs to, Hanbit asks why there are so few elementalists around. Yan Wu explains that only those chosen by spirits can ever use that power. Meanwhile, the chat is buzzing about how meeting a spirit is hard, but actually controlling one, pure madness. It is incredibly rare, and the power these spirit skills pack, absolutely broken. Something about this feels off compared to Hanbit's own memories. Yan Wu points out that Rafina's skill is actually stuck at rank 3. See, Elementalist is mostly an honorary title, since it is almost impossible to pick as a primary class path. Everyone is leaning in, dying to see the spirits she is able to summon. The chat reveals the truth. She is rocking level 6 magic already. Yan Wu turns to Hanbit. Hanbit admits he wants that power for himself as they watch Rafina finally start her beautiful summoning ritual. Yan Wu explains that these arts require natural talent that money just cannot buy in this game. The crowd is stunned watching her display her skills. Rafina is a total natural, having bonded with both water and wind spirits in only 6 short months. However, Hanbit realizes she has been stuck at rank 3 for 10 months, suggesting a deeper problem than just skill. As she heads off after her show, the two keep talking. Hanbit wonders if she is truly the top elementalist in existence. Yan Wu clarifies that the real pros keep their best skills under wraps. In a game where the first person to finish wins everything, secrets are vital. It makes perfect sense for everyone to keep their cards hidden. After all, information is pure power. Hanbit stares at Rafina and notes a strange sense of kinship with someone else who can talk to spirits. Once she is gone, Hanbit tells his stream to get ready for their next adventure. Yan Wu is dying to know what he wants, but Hanbit says he will see when they arrive. A quick shop trip later, Yan Wu is disappointed by the literal pile of junk Hanbit bought. They head out into the wild, following the wind to its very source. Standing at a massive cliff, Hanbit claims it is an entrance. Yan Wu isn't buying it, joking that it looks more like the entrance to the afterlife. Suddenly, a new quest notification pops up. He has to find Baldur's legendary swordmaster and actually earn his total recognition to win. The reward, a hidden technique that could change everything. While the chat is panicking, Hanbit is just wondering how to descend. The viewers throw down a challenge, go bungee jumping without using any ropes. Yan Wu tries to be the voice of reason, warning Hanbit to ignore them. Donations keep pouring in, and as we watch Hanbit, he starts to grin like a total wicked devil, and you know it's about to get wild. He knows what is coming. Yan Wu screams as Hanbit grabs him and dives off the edge before he can even finish his last sentence. As they fall, the chat is losing it over Hanbit's absolute balls of steel. It is a long way down, and Yan Wu simply passes out from the sheer terror. Hanbit spots a magic circle and guides them to a safe landing. Yan Wu wakes up, thankful to be alive, as Hanbit confirms that the mission is finally cleared. Suddenly, a huge donation reveals that 300 stalkers were actually eliminated just from watching that insane test of courage. Meanwhile, Hanbit and Yan Wu are only breathing because of Bal's lucky napkin. He'll spill the beans after Rasen's squad falls 10,000 more times. Suddenly, Yan Wu spots something. Looking ahead, they see a mysterious figure standing atop the jagged rocks. Hanbit tells Yan Wu that the person up there is Baldur's master. Yan Wu confirms the quest ends as soon as they reach the Wind Swordsman, and he's totally hyped to get this over with. Hanbit, on the other hand, asks if he wants to go first. Apparently, the view is spectacular from the inside. Yan Wu is touched, calling him a true streamer, but Hanbit just pushes him along. Yan Wu innocently starts walking down the path. But suddenly, a spear shoots from the wall and grazes his cheek. The chat explodes. Some viewers wonder if Hanbit is actually the devil for the setup. Terrified, Yan Wu screams that he did it on purpose. Hanbit says it doesn't matter. After all, he didn't die. The chat is absolutely loving the comedy between them. Hanbit pulls an arrow and aims near the spear. The viewers tell Yan Wu to apologize. Hanbit fires more arrows into the walls before telling Yan Wu to keep up with him. Totally lost, Yan Wu asks what all those arrows are even for. Hanbit explains he sensed more traps, so he was just clearing the way early. Suddenly, the entire area starts vibrating. And they turn to see a massive boulder charging down. Yan Wu starts screaming. He's totally panicking, yelling that there's nowhere to hide, but Hanbit calmly tells him there is no need. He gathers his flame magic and blasts the massive rock right out of the way. Since he didn't shatter it completely, the viewers wonder if his spell was actually weak. But they soon realize that Hanbit was just controlling his power output. They also notice the Rastan guys are still falling to their doom, making Hanbit happy. He urges Yanwu to move, but moments later, a literal wave of arrows flies. Vast. Hanbit snipes most of them down, pure skill, but then he runs out of arrows. So he draws his sword and tells Yanwu to keep his eyes peeled. Yanwu takes over the commentary, informing the viewers that Hanbit is literally batting arrows away with his blade. The chat treats him like a toddler, just pointing out the obvious. The duo keeps brute forcing their way through the traps until they almost reach safety. Hanbit suddenly screams for Yanwu to stop. And the moment he freezes, spears erupt from the ground just inches away. Hanbit warns him to stay sharp. Yanwu is stunned by his reaction time. Wondering how he predicts these traps, Hanbit says it's not prediction, it's just gut feeling. The truth. It's pure muscle memory, burned into his soul after 55 different regressions. A boulder drops from above, but Hanbit shatters it instantly with fire. A small rock bonks Yanwu on the head, but he takes it like a man. Hanbit tells him their long journey is almost over. And Yanwu asks how much longer, but 2 steps later they've arrived. Yanwu isn't buying it. Hanbit's used these little lies to keep him moving way too often. But then Hanbit points up, and there he is, the Windsword's master, right in front of them. Hyped, he asks Hanbit if they can finally grab that skill. But then, Baldur's master tells them to go back. The chat is losing it, wondering if this whole grind was just a prank. Just like them, Yanwu cries out to Hanbit in pure desperation, wondering if they really survived all that stress just for. First is the content creation process. After having an idea, I will create an outline for each part. This is the idea, and this is the outline. After checking the outline, checking this outline carefully, I start writing detailed content based on the outline above. So this is my handwritten script. After I based it on that outline, after having the handwritten script, once this is done, we put it into a translation website. This is our internal translation website. We designed this website specifically